All right, we are live in Facebook and in our Zoom. Thank you so much for being a real agent of change. If you're here, it tells me that you are wanting to be a contribution to the world. There is something about charitable gifting of real estate that entices you, whether you're a nonprofit, a financial advisor, a realtor, or simply a concerned citizen. Now, we have decided to make the book, instead of just the legacy listing, we're being a little bit more sassy and brassy, and we're actually going to call the book Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not. And it'll have the same subtext of 5 keys to revolutionize how our charities and champions are getting funded. But in the book, I have written a new opening right after Dr. Russell James gives us his credibility and how much he loves the book. There's actually a warning. There's a warning, and I'm going to make that warning to you right now. If you're going to watch this video, I want you to know you cannot unlearn what you're getting ready to learn, and you're going to learn the truth. The truth is, the proceeds from gifts of real estate will always be a better way to fund any nonprofit.
That's just
better. Can you mute
That's
yourself?
just got
Can you mute her out? Can you mute yourself, Deborah? I can't do it for some reason. Okay, so gifts of real estate will always be a better way to fund your nonprofits over fundraisers and grant writing. And in my humble opinion, for any nonprofit or any fundraiser or any realtor who cares about their community or any financial advisor who has hundreds of clients, for us to learn this and not do something with it is the biggest form of hypocrisy ever. So you've been warned. Now, let's get into the good information, because the reason that we created this whole platform, the book, the program, etc., is because our nonprofits are suffering, they need funding, and because as a former real estate agent myself, I know what our real estate friends want and need. We just want to get paid what we're worth. We just want to make a difference in the community. We just want to help not just 1 or 2 or 3 nonprofits, but what if each of us could help 100? What if we could help 100 in our own marketplace? Look at the difference we would be making, not only in our own pocketbook, but in their pocketbook, and all the people they can help. Our new friend Jennifer, she's helping people to stay in their homes. They've been suffering and struggling because of the pandemic, and she's created a 501c3 to help people stay in their home. What better way to fund a nonprofit that helps people stay in their home than by having homes donated and the funds and the proceeds help her out? So I'm going to go over and share the slides, and just want to let you guys know you're getting ready to learn the truth, and the truth shall set you free, or keep you up at night if you don't do something with it. So we call these legacy listings because the $9 billion a year that is donated to nonprofits through the gifting of real estate cannot be donated unless the donation of real estate is listed and liquidated. So this is a real estate listing. It's a legacy listing because it leaves legacy for the nonprofits that gets funded. It leaves legacy for the donors that have the option of actually giving 6 times what they normally would. And it helps to leave legacy for all the advisors, the realtors, financial advisors, etc. So let's talk about charitable real estate. How did this whole thing get started? Look, over 100 years ago, the United States government put into play the tax donation and the tax write-off. And they did this to incentivize. They wanted to incentivize not only wealthy people, but all people to be more philanthropic. And what they said was basically, in layman's terms, listen, property owner, if you'll donate your real estate to a 501c3, you as a nonprofit now have an asset that you can liquidate to fund your programs, and the donors of the real estate get all kinds of tax benefits. The two that we focus on is, number one, they avoid paying capital gains tax on that which they donate. And secondly, they can write off the full appraised value as off of their adjusted gross income. So it sounds simple enough. Friends, there are about 18 to 20,000 donations a year, donations of real estate that are happening every year. And it's a very small percentage. It is growing. It is growing every day because of this presentation and others like it. So it sounds simple enough. There's all these people who want to donate real estate. There's all these nonprofits that need the help. But the problem is, it's very risky. It's complicated. Real estate scares the crap out of most people. What are we going to do if it's contaminated? How are we going to pay off mortgages? Who's going to pay all the holding costs? So it's been the nonprofits themselves that have actually stopped this from happening. Because if the average person had $500 cash or the deed to a property worth $500,000, of the 1.3 million nonprofits in this country, and that number is growing every day. I meet new people who are starting their own 501c3. Less than half of a percent will take a gift of real estate. That $500 versus that $500,000 deed, they'll take the cash. 99.99% will take the cash and say no to the real estate. And friends, they should, if they're trying to handle the transaction for the following reasons. Number one, they just don't have any expertise. You know, all of these 501c3s have really smart people on their board. They wouldn't be on their board if they weren't smart. But you know what? Even if Deborah LaPlante, even if Barbara, even if Sam Silver, even if all of us were to sit on their board, who's going to come up with the money to pay off mortgages, to give cash to the donor who says, I want to fund people to help keep them in their homes. I want to help Jennifer's nonprofit. I got $1 million condo in Florida. I love her. I love what she's doing. I don't love her that much. I'd like to get $300,000 cash out of the property. You can have the rest. See, it requires capital to do this type of stuff. Now, mission drift. A couple of years ago, I learned that 1.3 million nonprofits all have a mission. And if their mission is to feed animals or save children from human trafficking, or to even, save the environment, do church faith works, help our veterans, whatever their mission is, when they, on the rare occasion, actually try to do real estate, it makes them drift off their mission. We don't want that. We want them staying on point. We want them doing what they were created to do. Now, there are nonprofits who've heard of bad experiences, who've had bad experiences. Since we've been doing this for the last couple of years, I've met dozens of nonprofits who say, oh, yeah, we took a piece of real estate 10 years ago. We'll never do that again. What a nightmare that was. So there's a lot of bad experiences. There are good experiences too, but the bad experiences are what people remember. Now, what about the nonprofits that do take real estate on a limited basis? There are lots of community foundations. These foundations in a whole county or a tri-county area that have really smart attorneys and CPAs and realtors and people on their team that do the banking and all that, they will accept real estate, usually when it's local, mortgage-free, no capital needed, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. However, the majority of nonprofits have it written right in their gift acceptance policies. We do not accept non-cash assets, especially no real estate. So the moral of the story is, the reason we have never heard of this, even though it's been around for 100 years, and even though $9 billion a year is donated, the reason we've never heard of it is because if nonprofits say no to real estate, there's been no reason to teach realtors or to encourage financial advisors, etc. But here's the opportunity, and here's why we are here today. $474 billion a year is donated to nonprofits. Tons of books and research, lots of people smarter than me come up with these numbers. Now, 90% of what they bring in comes from cash, just right out of the good old change in the pocket, right out of the checking account, right off the credit card. Yet, less than 3% of what we have our hands on as a nation is actually in cash, in our cash reserves, in our pocket change. Now, you've heard me say $9 billion a year is coming from real estate. And whether that sounds like a lot or a little, when you look at the $474 billion a year, friends, that's only 2%. It's only 2% of what the nonprofit world is bringing in, but we know 43% of our wealth as a nation is held in real estate. That's where most people hold their retirement, their inheritance, their wealth is in real estate. So it just doesn't make sense that 90% of what people are giving is coming from 3% of cash and only 2% is coming from the 43% of wealth. So here's the solution. There's this thing called a specialized nonprofit. And in our case, I have interviewed a half a dozen of these, and the one that we work with the most, handful of guys, 30, 40 years of commercial real estate experience each, 30, 40 years of philanthropy, sitting on boards, being philanthropic. They all come together and they're like, how is it that all this wealth is held in real estate and none of the nonprofits that we know will take real estate, can benefit from real estate? So they put their heads together and they created this thing called a specialized nonprofit who takes title to the gifts of real estate and all the financial responsibility on behalf of any and all of the 1.3 million nonprofits in this country, which gives any nonprofit the ability to confidently ask for, educate, let their donors know, hey, we can benefit from gifts of real estate, period. That's all they have to do. Let people know, hey, we can benefit from real estate. They have no risk. They have no out-of-pocket expense. They have no need to change their gift acceptance policies. They simply benefit from the proceeds. And dare I say, when they learn that they could let their donors know that they could benefit from real estate, they are doing a disservice and an injustice to the donors who want to give them more and to those people and planet and pets that they are wanting to serve. Complete disservice to not let them know. So here's some of the nonprofits who have benefited from gifts of real estate. I'm going to let you sit in the glory of how many of these you actually recognize and know. Now it's interesting, Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity, Girls Club, Girl Scouts, etc. They have hundreds, thousands of branches all over the country, and they don't speak to each other about where their donations come from. So you need to let the Boys and Girls Club in your county know about this. You need to talk to your Habitat for Humanity. And the one at the very top, Fidelity Charitables, is the largest of the 1.3 million nonprofits. Why is that important? Because they bring in over 10 billion a year just overall into their nonprofit, and even they don't want to do real estate. Even they leverage a third-party team to help them when a donor wants to donate real estate. And guess what? They use the same team we do. These are some of the colleges, universities, public radio, soup kitchens, churches, there's 17 subcategories of 501c3. Every one of them have benefited from gifts of real estate, yet it's still only 2% of what any of them bring in. So here's what it looks like. There is a donor that has a piece of property. Let's stay with our story. Jennifer's on here. She's got a nonprofit. I don't even know where it is in the country. Doesn't matter for this conversation. The condo's in Florida. See, these properties can come from anywhere in this country, anywhere in the world in some cases. They can be raw land, they can be residential, they can be commercial, they can be a $200,000 condo, they can be a $200 million strip mall in California. Doesn't matter. So this donor has $1 million condo in Florida. And they say, we love her, we want to help support her. We love her a lot, but we want to get our $300,000 cash out. That's what we paid for it 10 years ago. We just want to get our money out. No worries. They donate the real estate to the specialized nonprofit who gives them a check for $300,000. Specialized nonprofit now has $1 million condo that they can list and liquidate to give Jennifer the proceeds. And that's exactly how it works. She, after the specialized nonprofit is reimbursed their $300,000 and any expenses that they had during this whole process, she's going to get 90 to 98% of the proceeds from the sale of that property. So specialized nonprofit is a nonprofit. They live on donations too. And last year they kept an average of 5.9% of the proceeds of any of the deals that they did. That's how it works. So there are three, I call it the triangle of trust. There are three stakeholders in this: the nonprofits, the donors, and the advisory community. So let's talk about the benefits to all of them. For the overarching conversation around charitable gifts of real estate, these are the benefits, but some of these are specific to when there is a third party involved. For example, no risk, all reward. Can't guarantee that if a nonprofit's wanting to try this on their own. But when they leverage a third party who takes title, pays off mortgages, etc., there is no risk. There's no traditional fundraiser or grant writing. There is no 3 to 6 months of planning. There is no hiring somebody to write a grant trying to get $5,000, $10,000, $50,000. Average donation was actually $557,000 last year. There is no need for new donors. Nonprofits, you need to hear this. You have donations of real estate in your donor list. Do not have the scarcity mindset that you do not know anyone. Nothing breaks my heart more than talking to a nonprofit that was created to help others, created and knew that they were going to be asking people to make donations, that has 100, 500, 1,000, 500,000 people on their donor list, and says to me, we don't know anybody that would donate real estate. Do not have that scarcity mindset. There are donors in your list, you've just never asked them before. The fact is, your donors will give you 3 to 7 times more when you accept non-cash assets over cash only. Problem is, average nonprofit has no idea how to take non-cash assets. Jackie Franey from the National Conservancy actually gave that percentage, that quote. Now, let's talk about one of our favorite stories. Linda, National Jewish Health, huge nonprofit. They bring in hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They have a name list, a donor list of 300,000 people. Now, mind you, there are people on that donor list who've given $10 one time, people who've given 10 million at one time, just all kinds of people who've donated over the years. Linda is a donor on that list who's given $25 a year for 32 years. Not exactly one that would be cherry picked out of the list as a donation of real estate. Very loyal, very sweet woman. She hears someone from the team talking about this a couple of years ago, finds out she can donate real estate. Lo and behold, she has a cabin. It's in the Poconos. It's not 550,000, it's 70,000. But when she hands over the keys and the deed, the team liquidates the real estate after all the expenses and things that occurred. A check for $39,000 was given to that nonprofit. Friends, you know Linda. We all know Linda. We all know someone who cleans the cages at the local animal shelter, who picks up trash on Earth Day down at the beach. We all know people like this, and every nonprofit has her in their donor list. And here's another piece about this. She donated that property 2 years ago, and the fundraiser from that nonprofit told me personally three months ago, she said, Linda now gives us $500 a year, from $25 to $500. Now, there's a shift that happens when people start giving from their wealth bucket versus their cash pocket change. Dr. Russell James, one of our biggest advocates, he has written the foreword for our book. He has proven with his team that when nonprofits take in non-cash assets, in our case, real estate, 6 times the donations. I mean, think about it. At an average of $557,000 for a donation, you can see how easy that would be. We actually have his report, and I'll tell you how to get that in a minute. Now, another benefit to nonprofits, what about those who do accept real estate? We love them. They already get the benefit. They're just limited locally, mortgage-free, easy, buyer already set up. What if those people could actually expand and benefit from real estate anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world? And ultimately, the benefits to the nonprofits, they can leave legacy. They can do what they came here to do without spending all their time fundraising. So you're starting to understand, okay, there are people that are donating real estate every day. As a matter of fact, if you look at the numbers, the way we have calculated that 9 billion divided by 365 days out of the year, there's about 44 donations a day, which totals about 24 million and some change a day that's going to the nonprofit world through gifts of real estate. So you might be saying, well, that sounds good, but why would the donor do it? What is the benefit to them? Well, believe it or not, the very first one is convenience. Linda donated that cabin because she was a 6-hour drive away. When she did go to visit it, she had to get a hotel room because it had fallen into disrepair. She would have needed to put her own money into it to even make it livable, to put it on the market. It wasn't convenient. Handing over the keys was. Also a benefit for donors is they can receive cash. So that condo that we mentioned in Florida, what if that donor could just get that $300,000 check within a couple of weeks, be done with it, no putting it on the market, no negotiating contracts, just get some of the cash out and hand over the deed. They can pay off mortgages, they can buy replacement life insurance, They can go on a trip, whatever they want to do with that money, it's up to them. Benefit to the donor is that they are giving smarter from their wealth bucket as opposed to their cash pocket. You know, when people give out of their pocket, they're actually comparing, do I want to make this donation or do I want to buy Christmas presents for my own kids? Do I want to buy this raffle ticket or do I want to go out to eat myself tonight? There's a big difference in cash reserve donations versus wealth bucket. No capital gains tax on that which they donate. And look, legacy listings are all about helping the donor to leave a legacy. Now, advisors, let's talk about the business community. All businesses, frankly, but we get into that more in the master class. Right now, we're just going to talk about people who advise others on real estate. Could be an estate planning attorney, could be a CPA, anyone who is advising people in the regards of real estate. One of the benefits to them is that they can make money making a difference. The people that we tend to attract are those who want to make a difference. And guess what? They deserve to make money. They shouldn't be homeless and hungry, doing things for free just because it's the right thing to do. They deserve to make money while they're making a difference. And when you look at the statistic that 87% of human beings in this country, those customers, clients, and potential consumers will choose the advisor, the product, the company that is on purpose. They can also now support lots of causes. So if you were to ask anyone from our group, who do you like to support? Well, at one point, they helped this one nonprofit or these 3 nonprofits, or they gave 10% of their commission to the nonprofit of their client's choice. But they were very limited. There's only so much time, talent, and treasure that any of us have to give and be a part of. But when they can work with dozens, hundreds, even thousands of nonprofits in their community, hello, now they really can make a difference. This is a unique sales proposition. Even then, it'll still be opening doors. This can be in a real estate office, financial advisor office, or even in the nonprofit itself. Credibility. The real estate agents get paid a full commission to list these donations, period. The financial advisors can increase their assets under management. There are lots of ways to do that, and we talk about it more at the master class. So who is this group, the Real Agents of Change, the ROC, as we have become known? Well, We are the only organization in the whole world that provides information, education, and certification for charitable gifting of real estate and helps people to leverage real estate for real change. We have the vetted resources and relationships, including but not limited to specialized nonprofit. If you Google specialized nonprofit or charitable gifting of real estate, as I'm sure you all will, I did and still do to this day just to see what's up, you'll find several nonprofits that take gifts of real estate. There's about 50 that we know of that will take real estate, like any kind from anywhere in the country. Here's the trick though. If you donate a piece of real estate to Cars for Kids, for example, you get a tax write-off. And if all you want is a tax write-off, there's a ton of sources out there. But if you want the nonprofit you love to benefit and get the proceeds, it ain't going to happen over there. They keep 100%. Some keep 70%. Our specialized nonprofit keeps 10% or less. They work with any and all of the 1.3 million nonprofits. They guarantee a full commission to the real estate agent. And for these reasons and more, they are our specialized nonprofit of choice. We also provide the copy, the email, the social media, the scripting, the cause marketing campaigns that help the nonprofits talk to their donors, that help the realtors talk to their clients. However you got here, whether this is live for you or a recording, you got here because the real agents of change provided some kind of marketing, and that's why you're looking at it. That's how we help you and your organization to grow this for you. We have the only programs for the certified charitable real estate specialists that I've talked about, charitable real estate divisions, and we have this international database map. Let me share with you why this is so important and why even your nonprofit wants to be a certified charitable real estate specialist. As this is growing, and as people are Googling, and as they're coming to our map and hovering over the different states and areas to find people who can help them give smarter, help their nonprofit bring in 6 times the donations, etc., this is how they find our certified charitable real estate specialist. We will very soon be updating this map to show you nonprofits that are on it. Why? Because there are 2 million realtors in this country. I don't know how many financial advisors there are, but as all of these folks are finding us and becoming a part of what we're doing, imagine if your nonprofit had an army of realtors all over the country that were helping you. Imagine if you wanted to find an army of nonprofits that you as a realtor could help. In other words, this database is the culmination of bringing people together who don't just want to learn about charitable gifts of real estate, but who understand how to collaborate, join forces, and increase each other's resources, relationships, and revenue. Now, we're coming to a close of what we're talking about today. Let me share with you the difference between being a specialist and a champion, because people who come and see this ultimately become one or the other. A specialist of any kind is someone who's got knowledge in their head, right? They've got this highly skilled knowledge for a restricted field. They know details about this study or topic that others in their industry don't know. They become a specialist. They know things others don't know, and that's fabulous. That's the basis of what we do here. The first L in our keys, we have 5 keys to unlock charitable gifts of real estate for charities and their champions, and the first one is to learn. But we want to also encourage and inspire and invite people to become a champion. Champions are heart-centered, and they don't just learn and have a head full of knowledge. They actually speak up for and fight for people, causes, issues, organizations that they believe in. They are the ones that go to battle, that have honor, that have integrity, and that don't just want to know something new, they want to do something different. They're the ones that show up as the warriors and the number one in their marketplace. So here are the next steps for you. There are 4 kinds of people that we find that come to this presentation. The first one we don't meet very often, but we do just want to acknowledge you if this is you. It could be that you're not a nonprofit, you don't really have any interest in helping your community, you don't know a realtor, you don't know a financial advisor. It's hard to believe, but those people exist. And if that's you, thank you for coming. Thank you for sitting here for 30 minutes and learning about something. And we want you to know, you're going to be hearing about this more. This on social media, Facebook Lives, LinkedIn, you're going to be hearing more about it. So when you do want to learn more, you'll know where to come. Moreover, are the last 3 kinds. So there are people that come here and say, wow, we are looking to simplify our estate. We actually do have property that could be a donation, whether you are afraid of the capital gains tax you're getting ready to pay, or whether you are just wanting to benefit your church or the Animal Rescue League or universities, whatever that looks like. If you have a property, go to this form and fill it out. It takes 2 or 3 minutes, basic information, address of the property, what you owe on it, what your philanthropic intentions are. We put you in touch with the specialized nonprofit. They fill out 2 net sheets for you. Within a 24 to 48 hour period, you'd get a couple of net sheets. One of them would show what it would look like if you were to pay Uncle Sam 30% in capital gains tax, or if you were to do a donation, even if you're pulling cash out. Gives you the information to make a good decision. Moreover, we have people who say, okay, I get the concept. I see how this has been around for over 100 years. I understand that the reason that I've never really heard of this is because if nonprofits won't take gifts of real estate, what's been the point of talking about it? It's hitting a brick wall. There's been no need to teach this or to even discuss it. But now there is a way that any and all nonprofits can benefit. I get the concept, Cami. I need a little bit more information. I'm a little more analytical than that. Okay, great. Go to the FAQS. Fabulous, fabulous resource. The top 13 most asked questions, misconceptions. There's an interview there with me and the specialized nonprofit talking about who they are, who we are, and why we partner. There is an interview with Dr. Russell James and the infamous report that proves nonprofits 6 times their endowment. Go right there to find it. This link, you can see 7 success stories, people who've donated raw land, residential property, commercial property. You'll learn who the donor was, what's the story that had them want to donate, who are the nonprofits that benefit, how much money was donated. Fascinating. Masterclass, the 3rd Tuesday of the month, we do it live and it's free. Just like the peace sign, when it was created 50 years ago, we want everyone to use, to utilize, to leverage what we're doing here. So it is free. Come and learn more. And the last kind of person, which is really the most kind of person that we find here, are those who say, wow, okay, I don't know all the details. I do want to go check out those links, but I don't want to get hung up in analysis paralysis. It makes enough sense to me that I just want you to know our board needs to know that this is an option. Not only do they need to know it's an option, this is the best option. Proceeds from gifts of real estate will always be the best way to fund a nonprofit, well over any kind of fundraiser or any kind of grant writing. We have a nonprofit we're working with right now who did a fundraiser in the last year, and they brought in $900,000. God bless. That is a very successful fundraiser. But guess what? To be able to bring in that much money means that they know sophisticated people that are giving $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 in a check. Those people that they know have real estate. Therefore, even though that fundraiser was so successful, they can get more funding from those people when we give them this choice. Now, maybe you're saying, our donors need to know about this. You're saying, you know what, I'm not going to get stuck in scarcity mindset. I don't know anybody that would donate real estate, but who am I? How would I know what kind of assets people have? Of course, I want to educate them and let them know that this is a way they can give to us. Maybe you have a real estate company. Maybe you know someone who has a real estate company, and you say, wait a minute, instead of asking realtors to donate a percentage of their commission, we can actually show them how they can get paid a lot of money to help us. Oh boy, financial service companies. See, here's the thing about financial service people. 65% of these donations come from financial advisors, financial professionals. Why? Because they already know hundreds or thousands of people who want to be more philanthropic, who need a tax deduction. Financial professionals know that donating real estate is a possibility. They know that it's a tax deduction. Here's the trick. They've never known nonprofit that would help, that could take real estate. Now they do. Now we've provided the service for them that they need to unlock all their donors. Maybe your clients need to know, maybe you have a real estate investor group. God knows there are Facebook groups and meetup groups that teach nonprofits and nonprofit leadership. Look, the point is, if you, having watched this, see what we mean by the truth is, proceeds from gifts of real estate will always be a better way to fund nonprofits than traditional fundraisers or grant writing. If you are wanting to have integrity and share this with the people that you know that could benefit, we can do one of these with you. We can partner with you. You can bring people to this presentation we do every Wednesday at noon Eastern live at that link with the 101. Or we could partner with you and do one in your time with your branding with us. So this is what it looks like to be a champion. The woman on the left is Hallie. She is the executive director of the Haven in Sarasota. This is Jessica Peterson. She's a real estate agent who takes lots of massive action. And of course, that's me taking a knee, just grateful that the universe said, hey, you, knocked me on the head that day. Hey, you, with all that real estate and all that fundraising experience, how would you like to make sure that our nonprofits get funded by the billions and all of your real estate friends can get paid a full commission? How would you like that? And I said, I'd like it very much, thank you. And I took action, and here we are. We have created National List of Legacy Listing Month. It's happening right now in April. We have a book coming out. The title will now be Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not. How charities and their champions get funded. Friends, come to the masterclass if you want to learn even more. It's free. Get the first chapter of the book by going to this link. And I'm going to open it up now for any questions. Please feel free to write down my contact information, and unmute yourself if you would like me to clarify something that we have discussed today. There. Go ahead, Sam.
I have a few people who are also Clubhouse right now. Jacob, did you have any questions?
No, I don't. I'm actually, Tammy, we've been introduced.
I'm sorry, brother. You're breaking up. Can you start over? You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't hear you. If you can just type it open. If that's the case, God bless you for coming back and wanting to learn more. Happy to have you in the Facebook group. Happy to have you in the master class. Happy to have the ability to help fund your nonprofit, help your real estate company, help you guys make money making a difference. Does anybody else have something for me? I'm happy to clarify anything that you need to like get off your chest, something that you need details about.
Hello. I have a question. I'm sorry if anybody else wanted to go. My name is Retanya Sellers. I was referred here by Sam. And I was wanting to know, because I came in pretty late. I had a meeting before this time. I wanted to know your contact information and I guess the masterclass information. It kind of went by pretty fast before I was able to write it down.
Sure. Sam, could you do me a favor, please, and put the masterclass link and my phone number and email in just so I can stay focused on questions. Rutanya, are you a nonprofit?
Yes, ma'am. I am a nonprofit. My nonprofit's name is Noble Haven Incorporated. It's located in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area.
Nice, nice. How long you been around?
We actually made a year on the 15th of March. So she's like a little baby, but we're definitely looking for funding. Our mission is to create a welcoming and safe community to reestablish and reacclimate homeless pregnant women back into society. So yeah, we're just trying to get up and running. We need the facility to house these mothers that are experiencing homelessness during the duration of their pregnancy. So yeah.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. I have kind of an emotional place for a lot of nonprofits, not the least of my being an addict and an alcoholic and being in recovery. I love animals. I love people who are helping. You know, here's the thing. Our mission is to fund your mission because you're out in the trenches. You're doing the heavy lifting. We just want you to get the money that you need to make that happen. And Rutanya, here's what I'm going to share with you with everything from my heart. You have donations of real estate in your donor list, in your Facebook following, in your email list, in your friends and family, in the media that would help you to promote this. Average donation is over $500,000. That's why we say gifting of real estate, the proceeds from these gifts will always be a better way to fund your nonprofit than any traditional fundraiser you could ever do. So we are here to provide the resources and relationships to make that happen. All we need you to do is take a stand, plant your flag, and partner with us to let your people know. We can benefit from gifts of real estate. That's all you need to let them know. And Sam can explain it from there, or they can come to this presentation and learn more. And when somebody raises their hand and says, I got raw land in Texas, I got a condo in Florida, I got a triple family in Boston, I got a strip mall in California, doesn't matter where it is, we'll handle it for you. And all you have to do is smile for the camera when we give you the check.
Wow. Thank you so very much. I'm about to start crying because I feel it.
Good, good. Thank you. Please do not be one of those people who comes and learns this and then goes and gets busy with what you normally do. We understand that this is it's so simple, but it's also so new. And we know that. So if you sit in on the master class, it will really help you. And then we can strategize as to what to do next. Thank you for being here. Andy, I see that you're unmuted, my friend. Would you like to chat?
Oh, geez, I'm unmuted. I apologize. I don't even know where you are on my screen here. And this is live. Good. Uh, so I just wanted to share, I started having conversations. First of all, I spoke with Bryson yesterday from the group. Fantastic guy. He's going to do a ton. And we're starting to collaborate on how we can help, the people in our circles. And this is just for those of you looking to get involved, please do. We can help a lot of people. And there's plenty to go around for ourselves in terms of, building our professional, our careers and our geographies and whatnot. But this is just exciting. I've spoken to several nonprofits so far, and they all want to learn more without a doubt. So this is I just wanted to say it's really exciting.
Well, we're excited to have you. Thank you for being at the Purpose Workshop and for speaking up. And, friends, the more people know about this, the better for all of us. I liken this to, the fact that 20 years ago, I had a friend who said to me, I was a real estate agent. I'd only had my license for 2 or 3 years, hot market. And the woman says, my daughter owes more on her house than it's worth. I need you to help her. And I said, what the hell do you want me to do with that? If she owes more than it's worth, I can't sell a house. She owes more than it's worth. And she said, back in the 80s, there was this thing called a workout or a short sale. She said, look it up, see what you can do to help her. So I Googled short sale. And the only thing that came up was that Victoria's Secrets was having a sale on shorts. And I have shared that story hundreds of times. How to do a short sale. Short sales New Hampshire, short sales times 50 different state names. The point is, no one knew what a short sale was back then, not even the banks. When we called them, we were on hold for 4 hours and they didn't know what to do with us. So the same thing is happening here. We as a community, as we are educating and informing, don't be worried about competition or others learning about it, other than the perspective that you've got your hands on this right now. And if you don't do something with it, somebody else will. We want your church to get funded. It's going to be a bittersweet day. The day that you're at church and that realtor that you don't really like is standing up there handing over a check for $800,000, and you're grateful that your church or your veteran group or your animal shelter is getting funded, but it ain't by you and it ain't you getting paid to do it. So just share. Anything else, friends? Let me put over in the chat. Okay, that's the link that you probably used to get here. This is for the master class. Master class is every Tuesday, third Tuesday, so 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today is the master class free. There's also an online version of it there. And here is the FAQ that has the report from Dr. James and my interview with him and all of that. Guys, we want to teach you, we want you to learn, but don't get hung up in analysis paralysis and watch this go by. There was a person who asked in the Facebook group earlier, yesterday or today, does it have to be a 501c3 to receive the check? It does, but if you're wanting to put together a nonprofit, you need to come learn how this works. You need to introduce your potential board. You need to start promoting that your nonprofit is smart enough, wise enough, adventurous enough, visionary enough that your donors and your friends will be grateful that instead of you begging them with a GoFundMe account, or here's a raffle ticket, or will you come to our golf tournament instead of the 20 others that are going on? Instead of all that, you know now that you can benefit from real estate. Because it's going to take weeks for you to learn, for the word to get out, for your donors to sit in on a presentation, for them to bring a property to the table. Then the property comes to the table. We evaluate Andy. Once it's listed, it's going to take another couple of months to get it under contract, inspections, closing. So don't wait. Don't wait to let people know. Do it now. And the second thing I'll share about that is that there are nonprofits, including our specialized nonprofit. So let's say, for example, you have a nonprofit in the works, your 501c3 hasn't quite come to fruition yet, but you got somebody that wants to donate real estate. When they donate and our specialized nonprofit takes title, when they go through all that process and they've got $587,000 sitting in the bank, they can hold that until your 501c3 has come to fruition and give you a check in a month or 3 months or 6 months from now. So point is, taking action is important right now. It is 1 p.m. on the dot. I'm going to respect everyone's time and hang up now, but you've got those links. Here's my phone number, 603-785-2598. Here's my email, Cami@camibaker.com. And Facebook private message is an easy way to get a hold of me as well. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the next 101, which is every Wednesday at noon, same bat time, same bat channel. Bye.